Yo, it's Guido coming at you with Coffee Talk Live, my friends. I've got my coffee Pilgrim coming at you from the left side of the Atlantic.
And coming from the correct side of the Atlantic, it's Pilgrim with his Pilgrim mug, which you can't get in store anymore. Unlucky people, you should have bought up when you could.
Oh my gosh, you can't get that anymore. It's a collector's
It's
item.
a rare item. It's
So-
a collector's item.
so-
It's a gem.
You're trying to create false scarcity, aren't you?
Absolutely, want people to buy
Yeah,
it.
You've learned from wargaming.
Yes, I don't get me 10 cents to the dollar if you don't buy this mug. Go out and buy the mug today.
All right, Dead Rock. Good morning. He's getting his. Cliffy Wayne. Wayne, thanks for the resub, man. Much appreciated. Sticklers here as well. Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing, man?
Morning, everybody. Yeah.
I don't have
am
much-
applying for the Hells Angels,
Okay.
although they've refused me. They've refused me.
Have they put you in their sub clan, the Hex Angels?
Yeah, they're nearly there. Yeah, angels, angles. No, they've refused me because Pilgrinomics doesn't go with drug dealing. Apparently,
Oh.
they tend to lose more money than make if I get involved, so they're not letting me in.
What
I'm
about
saying the Hells Angels are all drug dealers. I'm just saying.
what about their other lower level clan, the Dang Angels? Dang it.
The Dang Angels? Yeah, I could probably get into them. Yeah, I could
Okay.
be an affiliate, I guess.
All right.
My Indian Scout.
All right, good. Well, good. So there's still an avenue, is what you're saying. There's still a path.
There's still a path. This is why I've got the caterpillar. I have to grow a Mexican moustache, mutton chops down here, and then they'll let me in. Yeah.
What? Bonzi, thanks. Why does it have to be a Mexican mustache?
I don't know because
Oh.
it's an Indian Scout. I don't know why I connect an Indian Scout with Mexican with Hells Angels, but in my mind it works.
Yeah.
Right?
So you're gonna have the flowing double beard
I
back
think so.
behind you as you're
I think-
driving.
I think so.
Thing is-
then I can say, I can feel the wind in my hair because I can't feel the wind in any hair here because I ain't got
But
it.
that's not really gonna work because you already bought the little bug screen, you coward.
I know. Well, that protects you to about there.
Oh, okay. So you can still get smacked in the face by
Yeah, I
things.
get
Okay,
in the
good,
face, yeah,
good,
that's
good.
it.
Yosemite Sam, yeah, man.
Sam.
Oh, look at that, a level 1 hype train, whatever that means.
Oh, look at that. Brilliant.
So I don't have any big reports for. My eyes are watering like I'm crying. I didn't do anything yesterday, basically, is what I'm saying. I did zero. It was 800 million point 79,000 degrees yesterday.
Just a little bit warm, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I stayed inside, and you know what I did?
What did you do?
I played a significant amount of tanks, but I also
Cool.
started about 1 or 2 playing Baldur's Gate 3, and then looked up and it was
I've seen your YouTube video, yeah.
looked up and it was 6 in the evening or maybe even 7. My wife
Yeah.
calls. She's like, "Hey, you want to go? Let's go get some dinner." And I'm like, "What time is it?" And, I kind of come up out of the computer and look around. It's all dark, and I look over the clock, and it's like 7 in the evening. Like, what the?
My life has just gone past me and I didn't even know it.
I mean, that's good. That's a good game. It's been a
Right.
really. I can't even tell you how long it's been since I did that in a game.
Well, that's good in that way. I mean, we've discussed this off air, but it's that genre is not for me because I don't get involved. And you did it solo on your video, so I'm assuming you're soloing through at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're fairly immersed into it because I understand the idea about taking time to think about the questions, about the directions it's going, and all the rest of it. But I would do it in a group. I don't really like that sort of genre, but I would like it if it was a group of us doing something and
Yeah.
each one had its own specific, power and all that
It's
sort of
it's
stuff. So, yeah.
it's kind of fiddly.
Right.
Yeah, Stickler. We'll get to that in a minute. It's not all.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's not all perfect. That whole thing is a what do I call it?
It's a different ball game altogether, that nonsense, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah, and it has a lot to do with current stuff. Current. What is it? I don't even know how to say it. Current culture. Let's call it cultural stuff. Let's just leave it at cultural stuff. That whole thing is just like, oh my god.
Well, while we're on the subject, that is coming to the games a lot more. I play Scum as well as DayZ and all the other things that we do. But I've been playing Scum the last couple of months. I've been
Scum?
sorting that out. Scum, yeah. It's yeah, it's a Daisy-ish type game,
Yeah.
but it's more complicated when it comes to the crafting side, and it's more about survival than actually killing off. Well, I mean, you do kill off other players, and they don't call them zombies; they call them puppets. Blah blah. Anyway, different story. But when you create your character, you can create a character every time you start the game if you want. You get the option to create it. You get a figure,
Yeah.
either male or female, and you can have the genitals exposed or not. Why? Why give me that option when I don't really? I'm not interested. You know,
And
I'm not going to run around the game with no clothes on, am I?
well, and there's people putting mods in that actually mod all that stuff, and then you can put the male stuff on the female character. You can change the junk
It's
version,
crazy.
but you
Yeah.
can't change the top version.
Oh, can you? That is crazy.
You went through
Well, with
all.
Scum, you can have, if you're a female character, you can have, double G.
Well, that's what I'm saying. On Baldur's Gate, you can't, which kind of
Oh,
surprised
right.
me a
Well,
little
that's pointless
bit.
anyway. If you wanted to go down that road, you've just cocked it up anyway.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, that's very odd to me, actually, that you would go through the whole trouble of that for the reasons that you're doing that, and then the tops, you can't do anything with the top. I thought that was very strange, actually.
So
Like, there's no
strange.
slider. There's no slider for that. Not that I want that or whatever. It's just the whole thing's weird to me in aggregate. But when I break it down and look at what they did, I'm like, well, what decision making came to that decision? I can't. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all right to do the lower half, but we can't touch the top half. Ooh,
Yeah, and then there's the other thing about it is there's all these like romances, right? You can, and it's super heavy into that stuff, And I'm like, it's a pixel. Are you really what?
But people actually get dressed as these characters and play in this. I'm not.
Well, I don't
you go
care.
to Comic-Con or something like that. People
Whatever.
dress
I mean,
up
do your thing, but I don't understand why it has to be so much
doesn't
part
have to
of
be in the
it.
game. No, doesn't have to be in the
well-
game, does it?
Yeah.
Cliffy.
It's I don't even have words. I'm just like I'm kind of stunned by the whole thing because it's like really taken off and people are getting super into this whole thing and I'm like, this is how sad are you?
Yeah. Are you like your nephew who said I have used up all my words on this now?
I don't know, man. And I don't want to insult people because I know everyone's got their own lives and stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to really do a holier than thou thing. That's not it either. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, it's all that kind of stuff was always in RPGs in the head canon. Okay,
Yeah.
head canon mean the story you make
Yeah.
up in your mind, which
Yeah.
has always been a
Yeah.
huge part of, say, the pen and paper RPGs.
Yeah.
You would have a dungeon master
Yes.
or whatever, and they would kind of build the world, and then you would role play and do your thing, and that's pretty fun. And then you do the interactive stuff with your friends, and you try to solve puzzles and problems, and then all that other stuff. Maybe you just had in the background. That stayed in your nugget.
Yeah, it was never voiced, was it?
Not
It was
very
never-
often.
You never
Not,
suggested to all your friends, let's take our clothes off and sit here naked. Well, maybe you did, I don't know. Yeah, but, I certainly didn't. You elfin queen, take your clothes off, please.
well, I'm certain there were romances that started in groups of players, and good on them. That's you meet people and then
Absolutely.
you fall in love, and that's all cool. But this is just reaching a level that is, in my mind, I find unnecessary for my enjoyment of that world. I don't need. That doesn't need to be in there. If I want that in there, I'll put that in my own nugget, and I'll think about that or whatever. But that it's actively built and coded and put in there, and it's such a. And then you read some of the dialogue, and you're like, I have just entered into the fever dream of some neckbeard.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I don't-
was just about to say that, yeah.
I
One of
don't
the
want.
devs were-
I don't want to be here. I wish this was not happening on my screen. I wish it wasn't part of this
But these are
adventure.
cutscenes you have to go through to be able to progress through the game. Honestly.
Well, you can avoid them, but they always want to chat, and some of the dialogue things lead in these directions, and you can deny it, and that's fine. And maybe that's where I can relax and not worry about it, where I can just ignore it. So I could do that too.
Okay.
I just find it weird that it's in there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, why is it in there? I mean, I don't know. Anyway. Oh, Brute says keep our clothes on. Yeah, I'll keep mine on. Don't worry.
Well, see, that's the thing, Cliffy. I'm not, but I don't need some neckbeard's fever dream in my game. That's where I'm coming from. I also don't need all the cultural shit. That's a whole nother. Maybe it's the same discussion. I don't know. But be that as it may, all of that
Yes, be
aside,
that as it may.
it's
Where are we
it's
now?
a great game. It is. It's massively huge.
Yeah.
There is so much stuff to do. You can do stuff different ways. Like a lot of games advertise like, oh, you can get through it without fighting or whatever. You can actually really do a significant amount of that in this game. Like multiple times I've walked in where there's a bunch of bad guys that normally goblins and stuff. Normally you just in other games you'd have to fight them. They're bad, you're good. They got something you want, you kill them and take it. Multiple times I've walked into some of these places and you get a chat dialogue and yeah, you could certainly go to a fight real quick, but if you do it right and work around it and use some of your skills and other things, you can kind of. Next thing I know, I'm walking around in a town that's full of goblins who've just kind of taken out the town, and I'm walking around too. You know, you can still get in a fight if you talk to the wrong guy and the wrong dialogue happens. You can still do that.
Because you get so many different questions, or so many different ways of
Yeah,
asking the question. Right, okay,
Yeah.
because the list says, I couldn't give a toss about you, or yeah, that's interesting, how can I help?
well, and you have
But
skills
went,
and yeah, exactly. And you have skills and dice rolls. So some things that you try to do are harder than others.
Got you. Right.
Really interesting. And a couple times I kind of managed that, and then I managed to get in a fight after, but I was already in the middle of all of them, and then they just.
I love on your video when you decided to smash that lantern and it was full of acid, and you kept stepping in it, going, "Oh, that gives me damage. Oh, that gives me damage. Oh, that I might die. Oh, I'm dead."
And I have done that multiple times. I've gotten into fights, I wasn't ready for, and just got massacred. I tripped a trap in a. As far as I can tell, it's unsurvivable. I think the point is you were supposed to disarm the trap, and there's a thief character that you can get to join you, and you really need one of those to kind of do. But I was actually able to work around it. I didn't have him with me at the time, so I moved everybody through the room because I wanted what was in the thing that set the trap off. It was a grave or whatever it was, whatever the what are they called? It was in a mausoleum, the thing that the people are in. Anyway.
Oh, mummy. Sarcophagus.
Yeah, sarcophagus. Thank you. So I moved everybody through to the other side because we could move through, and I took one guy to the very edge of it, clicked it, grabbed the thing, and he ran. And there was enough of delay, and then these fireballs just go, and it absolutely massacres, But I didn't care. It was happening. I left. So,
Left.
So it really cool. Yeah, it's a little.
I think given what I've seen on the video, given your enthusiasm for it, it may be one of those times that I might actually take a look at this Baldur's Gate and have a go. As I said, I like this whole thing you're talking about. When I play a game, I want to be immersed in it, almost VR in it, Whereas you don't get that with that type of genre as such, but it does sound that it could be that way. You were saying that you lost half a day just like that.
Yeah, and I'm not even really very far through the stupid campaign because I'm reading the books and I'm kind of scanning them now. But for a while I was reading everything, and there's so many little doodads you can pick up, and it's really interesting because there's no big exclamation marks on people if there's a quest or something. Some things are you pick up a piece of paper, and all of a sudden you got a quest because it has some notes about a basement. Like, oh, there's a basement nearby. You got to kind of pay attention to what your characters are saying and what you're picking up, and eventually and go to
it'll be clues for later on in the game then.
Yeah. And there's certain things, places you can go, and things you can do that aren't really related. They're basically side quests. But I found an owlbear nest or den or whatever. I found out about that because he had massacred some other adventurers. And then while I was talking to them, I did something wrong there. It pissed them off, and they attacked me.
Wayne, no, you don't get that in a 4-minute game of Tactics, do you? Oh, really? No, I'm pleased that you're enjoying it, because I think the other one you did, where you punched the donkey or whatever it was, you didn't seem to get on with that very well.
Yeah, I sort of put that down. Yeah, I put that down. I forgot about that one. I might go back to that one at some point. But that one there's a fine line between, say, a game like Diablo, which really is more or less on rails and just holds your hand on where to go and
Yes.
what to do,
Yeah.
and then you're button smashing. And then a game like Kingdom Come, where it's very wide open and sometimes very difficult to kind of understand what the hell you're supposed to be doing. And I think Baldur's Gate lives in between those a little bit,
Okay.
maybe leaning a little bit more towards the Kingdom Come. Some of it can be very esoteric. Like I went in.
It's nice that there's an open world variant or,
Yeah.
adaptation to it.
Yeah,
You
and
don't want it
I mean,
so linear that you just go one way.
yeah, it's a big world, but it's not. But it's interesting because in size it looks big, but the pathways are relatively constrained. You can't just walk over a mountain. You actually have to take the pathways they have.
the path that's
So
good,
it
yeah.
does lead you into certain encounters and things along the way. But the other thing I like about it is it doesn't difficulty scale in real time. So if you go up a level,
Right.
everything doesn't go up a level. So if you run into something that is you can't take, more than likely in that, they call it chapter, you will eventually get powerful enough to be able to take it down. So you can kind
Right,
of
but you're not always going to be at that level then. Do you know what I mean?
no, yeah, you have your characters have level.
Tier 10. You'll meet tier 10.
Yeah, and it's called levels. It goes up to level 12. It's D&D. It's very helpful to have played D&D at some point and kind of understand it.
Right.
These are the newer rules, which I'm not familiar with at all, but it's still the same general idea, so you can kind of understand what you're doing. The maps are channelized, Cliffy, to some extent. Yeah, they are, but they're wide open enough that when you get into a fight, it's kind of cool.
Oh, excellent.
All right. Anyway,
Bit of text, shall we?
yeah, I finished the Foshby.
Have you? Hooray! Put it away,
Yeah.
never to be seen again.
Yeah.
What a nightmare. Did you actually manage to figure it out
I just needed the angel sound because I was so glad. The answer to your question is sort of.
then? Okay. All
So the good news is I did end at 50%.
right. That must have been a struggle, though.
The bad news is I only ended at 50%.
Yeah, see, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's not an aspiration, is it? It's just
No, man, that was. And then if you look at my DPG, this is nothing to write home about for a tier 10. Good lord, not great. Although it's kind of in line with a lot of my tier 10s, to be, if I'm honest. Damage and destruction are good. Armor use is actually decent, but it never felt that way.
right.
I just felt like
Right.
that rack thing on my forenugget, on my forehead up there, just collected shots.
Yeah.
Um,
I seem to remember you saying that at the time when you were playing it, when we were together playing it, that it just didn't feel like it was doing the job, did it?
Yeah, if you play it passive, it's hard to affect games, especially if they start to steamroll in any direction. If you play it too aggressive, it's just not as durable as you would like it to be. So it's kind of one of these in-betweeners. It can, if you can get to the mid to late game, be an absolute brutal beast. If you've got a whole clip and you're cleaning up near deads, I mean, absolutely. So 50 wins, 47 defeats, and 3 draws, which is a lot of draws, actually, 3%
Yeah.
right there. So, it was a mixed bag. I will say it was getting better. My last 30 games or whatever was what things were doing much better. I was in the low 700s on average XP, and I got it up to 808.
Right, and that's probably because you played it so much that you're starting to get used to how it works, I guess.
Yeah. I was definitely getting better. In fact, I never aced it. I didn't realize that. Holy cow! Interesting. So
You're
yeah.
not going to 3 mark it, are you?
Oh, absolutely not. I did get my participation trophy 1 mark out of it though.
Right, okay.
So gone. I've already stripped off all the equipment, as you can see, and it's in the garage, sitting where it will probably sit for the rest of its days. And the good news is I took it off the playing tanks. Bye-bye. All right.
Bye-bye. Here's a question. While we're on this, not this particular subject, but I've been musing, I think is the word.
Musing. Okay.
Musing. And I'm thinking, why do I have a garage full of tier 1 to 4, 5? Why? When, at the end of the day, I probably play them once every 6 months, a tier 4 or a tier 5.
Yeah, I mean,
They've all got equipment on, they've all got kit in it, they've all got ammunition in them. So I mused, would it be a sensible thing just to sell the whole lot off? Everything below tier 5, get rid of it all.
Wayne says, sell, sell, sell. Everything must go.
I don't need garage slots. No, I've got like 200. I don't know what to do with them, but I just don't play those tanks.
Well, yeah. So I mean, that's fairly easy if you don't play them and you don't want them. And at the same time, though, then my next question to you is, do you really need the silver?
No, I mean I don't need anything off them other than they just sit in the garage. And
Other than the fun of seeing 100 million credits sitting there or some such thing.
Yeah, we could change that into gold. That'd be all right, wouldn't it? If it was the other way round. So
See,
I mean, I'm not a collector. I'm not a collector, so it doesn't bother me.
Deadrock says,
No, I don't.
never sell.
Never sell, only acquire. There is that. There is that thought.
I mean, you could certainly sell them. I mean, or
I
at
mean,
the very
I
least.
mean, you occasionally play tier 5, don't you? But I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever seen you go down 4, 3, 2, 1 even.
I was going to say you could strip the equipment and sell it, but I don't think. What does it cost to strip regular equipment? Actually, I forgot this. Can you just? It's credits, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, or it's gold or using. So if you do that,
Yeah.
Pilgrim, instead of stripping it, you just sell it and you sell those with it. And
Sell
then
all the stuff with it.
right, and then you don't have to use your stuff to strip the equipment.
Mickey, the crews I've got down at. You're right, actually. In
Ooh.
that particular, the crews are all novice crews because that's where I store them instead of in the garage.
All right, so
In
here's
the bunks.
that's going to be a subject as we watch the crew stuff happen. If they ever do the thing they were talking about where they turn crews into crew books.
Yeah.
If you dump a
Yeah.
bunch of crews in your barracks, the question will be what happens to them in the barracks.
Yeah.
You might want to wait on that for a while. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't going to do it straight away. It was just, as
Yeah.
I said, I was musing. I
Yeah.
was just thinking, I predominantly play 6 to 10. I very rarely play 5. I very rarely play 5.
Yeah.
And I hardly ever play 1 to 4. Well, certainly never 1, 2, and 3. Possibly a 4 occasionally. I don't know.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Goose, in the house.
Goose, what's happening, man? Legend, how are you? Did you just finish your stream? I didn't notice. Did we get rated? I don't know. No, he's just hanging out. What's going on up there in the Great White North? You guys having your traditional breakfast of maple syrup
Oh, yes. He's having maple syrup and pancakes.
and moose steaks or something?
And moose steaks, yeah, for breakfast.
Ha 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 ha! That's so funny. But the battle pass filter on, you never have to see below 6. Oh right, there you go.
All right.
Yep.
All right, that's not a bad idea. I mean, I'm not really that bothered. It's just that when the fact you've got like 700 tanks or whatever, 800 tanks. When you're scrolling through looking for stuff, you're going through all this tier 1, 2, 3, 4, and all the rest of it. I know you can filter and all the rest.
Yeah, I do the filter. I've learned how to use that. Plus, with the 100 Battle Challenge, you can see down here, these are the only tanks I have right now that I see, the ones I'm playing at the moment.
Right.
So if I need to go dig one out, I'll do it. I just got here. Oh, excellent. Well, hey, man, I would have some waffles and maple syrup. I would not complain about that.
Would. Definitely. My breakfast consisted this morning of a vitamin pill, a cod liver oil pill, a glass of orange juice, and half a dozen chores because I've got the family arriving any minute now. So,
The breakfast of octogenarian champions.
yeah, pills and orange juice.
So, Goose, we were just discussing, have you jumped on the Baldur's Gate hype train yet, man? Do you do that stuff? We were just discussing how good that is. 100 Battle Challenge, so finished the Foch B, good to go, and we're down to these tanks now. The next is the Sturv 81, the Ho-Ri 2, which, guys, this is actually a pretty dang good tank. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I like, the Ho-Ri 2 is definitely a good tank.
I mean, the Ka-Ri is probably better overall, but as far as performance goes, I have no problems with this. And this thing's armor, especially at tier 8 and against lower tiers, this is a little monster.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So someone bought it for you. Good. Well, enjoy, because it's a good game. The 5-1 rack. I'm also doing Lowe's Sherman. Now that I've got another tier 6 in the stable for battle pass points.
Yeah, you bought the Loza, didn't you?
Yeah.
You did say that. Yeah. And I was sort of like, what? Why another Sherman? When you've got
Yeah.
like 20 in the garage, but yeah, I can see why.
Why not? Why not? Where are you?
Yeah.
Where are you in Battle Pass? I finished, Pilgrim.
Uh, 11 on the second chapter. I'll tell you for why. Here's my
Okay.
excuse,
All right.
sir. Well, ever since they did the holiday thing, which I know we're going to get onto, my whole game is stuttering like a stuttery thing, especially when it's high pop. At the moment, when it's
Really?
early morning and it's low pop, yeah, when it's low pop, it's fine. But my ping is below 100, and it's always been that. So I think it's something to do with the Wi-Fi. But anyway, the whole it's difficult to play because I'm getting a lot of jumping. So I've been playing EU, to be honest, because that's fine. I'm having no problems with that. So it may
Yeah.
well be
You're
a
like,
local connection issue.
yeah, you'd probably
So,
you might want to do a ping plotter thing. You might want to
Yeah,
check.
have a
You
look
might
at
want to get something to check the heat on your rig. I don't know. Maybe it's got some
yeah,
kind
that was a
of.
good point.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's a
that's good point.
hardware issue and not, it's
Because it is
stuttering.
a fairly old system now.
Yeah, maybe
about
it's
4 years
stuttering.
old now.
Yeah, maybe it's stuttering
Yeah.
because of the computer itself and not any connection issues. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I'll have a look.
Cliffy says the servers have been having issues, so maybe it's some of that too.
Okay, okay. It seems to be fairly stable today because I've got it on the
Yeah.
NA server now, and I know when it's low pop, when there's like 4,000 players on it, it's fine. I mean, let me look. I'll tell you what the ping is now, 99, so it's way below 100.
Yeah.
You know, and I've always played it between 90 and 120, and it's been fine. So you're right. I might have to just dig into the computer a little bit.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit old now. I'll never persuade the house general that I need a new one. I've just spent an arm and a leg on a house and a motorbike. I ain't getting any more money out of this, am I?
Ain't happening. Ain't happening. Brute says he's been getting intermittent stuttering on his laptop. Interesting. Interesting.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. That's
All right.
interesting to know.
Let's see. Next stream, unknown, but no coffee talk unfortunately next Sunday because I'll be down in Pensacola dropping the boy off back at college. So
Cool.
we're gonna
So
take.
he's home at the moment then.
He is. So daughter already went, taking the boy next week, and He's got a new apartment over there, so we're gonna get him put in his apartment, and then we're gonna spend 2 days hanging out in Pensacola and come back Sunday afternoon. So
Right.
no coffee talk next week.
Well, I'll probably take the Indian out if the weather's good for a bit of
You've been
like a long distance. I've got to get it running. I've got 500 miles to get on the clock, and then they're going to service for me.
oh, okay.
And then then I'm going to drop those huge mufflers off and stick some shorty slip-ons on it to give it the right sound. I mean, because it sounds great, but it doesn't sound like it should do for a V12. You know what I mean? A V12, bloody hell, yeah, V2.
You want to be that guy. You want to be that guy that goes by just blah.
Yes, I want to annoy everybody as I go past. Now, there is a reason behind it. It's a perfectly genuine reason to be that noisy on a motorcycle, because it makes all the tin can drivers hear you when you're coming,
Oh yeah.
so they don't pull out on you. You know?
Well,
Well, they
hopefully,
do. They
man.
still pull out. On you.
Dude. Hopefully.
Anyway,
Careful that damn thing, man.
uh,
All right, so that's it for Jamal News. Ready to move on, my friend?
well, let's do this.
Shall we shill?
I think we need to.
Let's make our nickel, man. Come on.
Yes.
Remember, just today, everything you buy in the store, I get 27,000% of.
Yeah, and I still get 10% on every mug sold. So come on, buy mugs.
Well, what's going on, man? We got. Oh, I guess I need to. What the heck? What's going on here? I'm losing it, Pilgrim.
Have you lost it?
Yeah, I just had a complete. My brain just went. I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing here?
Too much Baldur's Gate. I think you need to log on and lie down.
Yeah.
Not play Baldur's Gate. No.
All right, there we go.
There you go.
What's in
There
here?
it is.
Here it is, friends. The G-SOAR 1010.
Do you know what? I might buy it. I know.
Yeah?
I know what you're going to say. But
What am I
just
going to say?
you were going to say don't be so bloody stupid. But I just might get it because
I would never say that, man. If people want to buy a tank, man, I'm all about it. Buy a dang tank.
well, for £35, which is what, $40.
Yeah.
I think it's for me it's value. It's good value. And I know people have said, well, it's not that good, or it's an accurate gun. It's speedy. It's wheeled, but it isn't a French wheelie, so it's not going to be so overpowered. And yes, its armor is fairly weak, but then it's not designed to be, a facehugger, is it? I might get it. I might buy it.
So it's interesting you bring that subject to whether it's good or not. I've been in a bit of a discussion on the CC channel with a couple of the EU CCs who are complaining about it being it underperforms and all this, and it's funny talking to these guys, man. Anyway, it's unreal. Anyway, you look at the stats on tanks.gg, and it's in the top 10 in terms of win rate and win rate and all that good stuff. Although win rate's not that important. Win rate and DPG. If you look at its tank curve, it underperforms according to the somewhat underperforms across the board according to the win rate of the guy who's playing it. It also shows that the people who are playing it tend to be in about 52% win rate. So in aggregate, the better players are playing it, which is all understood. You got it. In my opinion, you look at that whole picture. What that tells me is that it's average.
What's wrong with average in the game? It's balanced, shall we say?
Well, it's so there's an interesting argument because it isn't exactly balanced in terms of a medium at tier 8. It does underperform according to the skill level of the player, but in overall, it overperforms in terms of the win rate that it gets.
Right.
So what that tells me is people are like, oh, it underperforms. Like, all right, so what do you propose to do about an underperforming tank? Well, it needs a buff. Does it? Because if you buff it, then its aggregate numbers are also going to go up. Oh, but only good players play it now. I'm like, oh my God, there's always some other thing when you say it's incredible.
Well, what gets me is the word underperforming. And I'd like to know in comparison to what? And yes, you said tier 8, but in comparison in detail to what? How do you make a statement, if you're making that statement, that it's an underperforming tank without providing the evidence and the detail that goes behind it? I mean, not just the blanket evidence that a tier 8, it's not quite doing what it should do, but, tank per tank. And I don't think anybody's done that. People have just got this feeling about it, like they did the Monticore. Like they did the old Monticore.
Well, this is a great example because this is, and what's also tied into this is CCs and their opinions of tanks. And the starting point has to be, before you start talking about stats and things on tanks, at least when you're giving an opinion, let me put it that way. When you're giving your opinion on something, on whether it's good or not, the starting point is what your opinion, what is your requirement for it to be good? Good in the entire game, good in its class and tier. Is a good tank one that overperforms for you, or one that's at the top? Is a good tank one that's just not in the bottom half? You have to kind of, so that's an important starting point. Yeah. Right there. So what I get a lot of times from the arguments here is the circular logic. It's like, all right, it's in the aggregate, it's showing it's got a top 10 win rate and a top 10 TPG, DPG, but DPG. Yeah. But now I'm going to go over to the tank curve, and it's underperforming in the tank curve, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, yeah, but if you buff it, it's going to be good, and then it will be too high over here.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be
but the tank curve. Yeah, but I'm like,
yeah. I mean, there's some good stuff in chat. They're saying like the turn could be a little bit faster. Jimmy K. Hi, I didn't see. Jimmy's in the house.
So Goose brings up another good point, which is absolutely true, but. It's again, this happens a lot. People are like, oh, wait a month. Well, I've been doing this for about 6 years now, and I've waited a month with every tank that's come out, and a lot of the overpowered tanks that people said, oh, they're overpowered. There's always this, well, you gotta wait a month. Well, I waited a month and nothing changed.
Yeah. Only opinions change.
Now that being said, that sounds like I'm poo-pooing that. That is 100% a thing. right? Not newer players. The early adopters tend to be better, more experienced, at least generally better players because they're really invested in the game and they buy stuff. So 100%. What in 6 months? Let's see where it is because that's important. Now, will it be anywhere near the bottom? No.
No.
Unequivocally, no. It will be, if it falls, it will go into the middle of the pack, which means it's a relatively balanced tank. Oh, but it underperforms to skill level. Who gives a shit? It's in the middle in win rate, dude.
Yes.
What you're saying then is, I'm a good player. I need the tank to be up to my level so I can then kick more ass in it.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, bro,
yeah.
but it's top 10 win rate right now, so no, you're not going to get it buffed because then it gets even better. Now it's a complete outlier. You have to take the whole thing into consideration.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm getting at. And it may be, bro, that yes, it does underperform to skill level, but overall it's actually a pretty good tank. You have found something in it that works. That you are able to win at a higher rate already, even as a crappy tank, you are able to win at a higher rate than all the other tier 8s, or at least in the top 10 of all the other tier 8s.
Yes.
What is that in this tank? I'll tell you what it is. It's speed.
Right.
And anytime you have a good player and you have a even mediocre tank with speed, it's going to do better because good players.
Because first of all, it gets to where it needs to be quicker. Then secondly, it
Yes.
gets out of trouble quicker.
Yes.
And it gets to somewhere else quicker.
And
So
good players in this game use speed well out of proportion to any other player. Well out of proportion.
I think given what you've said there, is that, and I think people, but if not forget, but people who make these comments about the various tanks that come out, they probably don't really work into it that each tank that comes out has a specific way of playing it. All right, there's a generic thing. It's a heavy, it's a light, it's a TD, whatever. But they've all got their own nuances, like the Manticore, like this tank, like the ELC. It's finding that nuance that makes that tank good for you.
Yeah.
That's where this game's at. This is why I love this game, because it makes you have to stop and think how to. You can't just use every tank the same way. You've got to work it out, and we're still in the working out stage of it at the moment. So it's 6 months.
So for me, one of the most fascinating things about this discussion we've had in the CC chat, and in general, we've had this discussion on the channel multiple times, and with the guys in chat. So let me just lay this out because this makes me laugh every time. The 279 early and the Chieftain, people have been complaining about overperforming for a long time, but the counter argument from good players has always been, well, it's good. It's only because good players play them.
Okay.
So they don't need a nerf. They don't need a nerf. Then at the same time, you have in their opinion, an underperforming to skill tank.
Yeah.
But it needs a buff.
But it's probably way more balanced than anybody wants it to be. That's the trouble, isn't it?
What?
You want your cake and eat it, don't you?
You can't nerf the 279 because only good players play it. So it's actually it's balanced. It's actually balanced. But this other one is underperforming, and I'm a good player, so by God, you better buff that, bro.
It is, isn't it? And it, as I say, it comes right back to the Manticore when that was first introduced. All the good players were poo-pooing it, and not all of them, but and some good players actually took it and made it work.
Yeah.
AK, you did the same. You took it and made it work because there are ways to play each of the different tanks. Not every single tank, but when you get these little tanks that come out, these little projects that Wargame is doing, the idea is to find out how to play it, isn't it? Surely that's the idea.
And I'm not claiming I'm always right. There's plenty of reviews you can go look back on where I get it wrong. I got it right on the Manticore, though.
Yeah,
I got it right. So, long story short, on the G-Sor is, I am not claiming it's a great tank. What I'm saying is, it is a perfectly average tier 8 with some kind of interesting gameplay that Goose has pointed out several times here. So I think that's actually great.
Yes.
Right?
For once, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're getting it right, aren't they?
So they great. That's they did not they did not release a clearly overpowered G-Sor. Now we're having a discussion about just exactly how good it is.
Yeah.
That's a win, man.
That it is.
That's a
it's
win.
now a challenge. It's a challenge to make
Yeah.
it work.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely.
Yep. So if it's got a little
I'm gonna
niche,
get the premium.
if it's got a little niche where it can do some good stuff, great.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, look at the ELC now. I mean, it's a beast of a spotter, and you can't see it until you're like sat on it.
Well, the Even
You need to
90,
be on top of it.
yeah, the Even 90 is classic. I don't know if you remember how badly that thing got panned when it came out.
Because
Like
the gun
people,
would do this.
people lost their
First-
minds
wow.
about how bad it was, and if you remember the I think it came out right after the British small tanks, and they were still
Yes,
in
it
the
did, yeah.
they were still in the process of bashing the whole line, saying it was horrible. And I was saying, guys, this these things have a capability that is more or less unmatched in the game. There's a couple other tanks now. The French tank has it. A couple of the German little tanks, like the Hawk 12, kind of do the same stuff. And in the right situations, these things are really good. So anyway,
Well, you know when you play a game and you see you've got an ELC 90 on the other side, you're thinking, oh no, there's just nowhere on the map I can hide now.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. All right, so there you go. That's my opinion on G-Star. I think it's a balanced tank. I think you'll enjoy it. Goose says set it up with a vision build and go crazy. So cool. There's
Yeah.
a Tech Tree line coming. Yes, there is, Fuzzy Naval. There is a British Tech Tree line. My understanding is the next patch. But there you go. 3 marked it in the G-Sor with an 8K spot. Nice. Nice. Well, that sort of makes me want to get it. So I guess Goose probably has it. I do not have the
Are
G-Sor,
we
guys.
talking the premium Goose? Are we talking the premium?
No, I think he's talking the... well, maybe he is. I don't know. Yeah, he's talking this one, the Tier 8.
Yeah. All right.
I do not...
I'm buying it, mate.
Yeah, I don't have it. I don't know. Maybe I'll buy it, but we'll see. Okay, anniversary vehicles. You can get the these are actually available, I believe, for gold as well. In the anniversary store, we'll break that down in a minute.
I struggle with this concept. Is that these are tanks with skins, and you're buying the same tank again, aren't you? If you've already.
No, I think those are removable.
Are they?
Yeah, that's a. Are they 2D? Those are 2D skins. They're not even 3D.
So so if you bought this, you would just get the skin to go.
Yeah,
on
you get the
already
beach
had it.
bungalow, but it looks like you're kind of paying
Okay.
for it too because it's a little more expensive than just the regular
Yeah,
tank.
I got you. All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got? Not a whole lot on sale because we got the anniversary special going on. There are some discounts and things. We'll look at that in just a second. But we've got the Scorpion G. We've got the WZ 111, and then the Tier 6 FL10. Remember when they were going to get rid of? Remember when they were going to get rid of the Pref tanks? What happened to that?
I don't know. That's gone. Like when Wargaming don't want to admit anything, they just make it go quiet, don't they?
Yeah, they just stopped talking about it as if it didn't
Just stop
exist.
talking about it. I don't know what you're on about, comrade.
Mm-hmm.
No idea.
Never happened.
Never happened. Not
Specials, nothing else really in here of note. There's a T127 little package there that comes and goes every now and again. And that's pretty much it, guys. Battle Pass, vehicles.
Yeah, there's not, apart from the anniversary store, there's not much going on with the store. Because
Yeah.
also I think they put stuff into the UI in the game as well, which you can, they can make you spend your dollars on.
That's probably true, Cliffy. Yep. I mean, there was a period early in the game where the prefs were absolutely monsters because good players could basically limit their matchmaker to +1. And while they weren't as good as the Tier 8s around them, they weren't as power crept. So it was, if you look at my top tanks, I did a lot of this back in the day here. As I find, there we go. I played a lot of these for 2 reasons. First, they were good when I was learning the game. And 2, IS-6, Type 59, 112, T-26, E4, those are all pref tanks. So they're good, and they made credits. Obviously, the low and T-34 were my big credit grinders back in the day.
Yeah.
All right. Babin 2, howdy, how are you? How's it going? All right, so the anniversary's going right now, guys. Make sure you're logging in at least. Hey, is Goose still here? Did any of you guys manage to get... Apparently, if we click there, if you touch these things in the right order, you can get a... there's an Easter egg. But I'm wondering if it's gone, because I tried it, and I can't get it to work. Yeah, none of them are green, Goose. I don't have any green ones anymore. So I'm wondering if it's gone. Birthday song.
So which order have you got to click on them?
Hold a bit longer. Works once. Wait till it turns green.
Turn green.
Oh, it did turn green. Changes each day. So if I...
You haven't... Yeah.
Do I have to get them correct, or do I just randomly search for the next one? 2. All right, that one's green. Gotta wait.
So it only happens once a day. The second one in for me turned green, and then I clicked it, and it gave me a little spiel.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, give me a little chat about the Waffentrager legacy. And
it's electric.
blah, blah.
Okay. Well, let's go here and see, because there was actually an article on it. So, I'm trying to get you guys the deets on how this works. Where is it? Where's the Easter egg? There it is. All right. So, somebody in chat said so it changes each day. Don't click when you're doing it. But how do I even come up with the correct order? This is what I don't understand. Do I just keep hovering until the next one shows up? Or have I screwed it over because I'm not clicking the right one?
No, I think if you hover over the second one in.
No, it went green. That's the
green.
First one.
Is there any music playing?
I don't know. I don't listen to my music. I have no idea.
No, I don't either.
It's green, which is correct. But now I don't know. How do I find the next one? And, like, is there...
Oh, the third one turned green as well. And then I guess you go to the fourth one. No, that's turned red. So you start with the second one. That's green.
My third one didn't
Then you go
turn.
to the third one. That's
Oh.
green. Then you go to the first one. No, it's gone back to red. So...
I see. So basically, you have to write it down, and you have to, by a process of elimination, figure. Oh my gosh, 2, 3, 10. All right, I love you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I like it. 4. Okay, okay. How did Wayne get that? Wait, where am I? 2, 3, 10, 4. 2, 3, 10, 4.
Yeah.
9. Boom. Okay.
Yeah.
5. How did you figure that out? Like, what's the clue? 8. Is this from outside in? Is that what we're doing? Wait a minute. I think we're going outside in, aren't we? We are going outside in.
What's after 8?
Was it always outside in?
6?
Where's my stuff, bro? Hey!
7?
Wayne is the man.
Oh, it's gone back to red. Oh! Oh! No, it's given me rewards received.
There you go.
Look at that.
There you go, fellas.
What did you get?
Day of Premium Anniversary. It says coins, but doesn't say how many.
Yeah.
Large first aid kit, large extinguisher, large whatever that is. Repair kit, and a demounting kit. Fantastic.
Yeah. Also received. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Wayne. Woohoo!
Was it always outside in? Was that the pattern? No, this one was not outside in. That just happened to be outside in on this one.
Plays Happy Birthday. Cool. I don't have music up.
I still don't understand Yeah, there was a video, but it was for the other code. This is a different code than they had. So it changes daily, I guess. So
Changes
again, I'm
daily.
back to my question. How the hell do you know what it is?
That's what I'm saying. You must have to just a hover and do it enough times till you get the sequence. You have to write it down.
You do have to write it down. It doesn't change?
I guess.
Hold on.
It doesn't change.
Hey, people are saying it changed.
Because there's boxes we didn't highlight.
It does change, Cliffy. Because the order I'm seeing here on Armor Patrol is 1293845, which is not even close to the one we just had. One, two, nine. No, pattern's not. No, it's not the same. Wait a minute. 1, 2. Wait, maybe it is 1, 2. So he did 2, 3, 10. 1, 2, 9. It is going outside in. 3, 8. 4. Yeah. But it shift. Wait a minute. What did we start on? Did we? No. Ice Dragon says they're not working.
So it's
That's interesting because this code here is it on. I think the one that Quickie Baby had was a different code. Yeah, hold it over at Ice Dragon until it turns green.
5,
It does take a few potatoes for the first one.
9, 5.
Oh my god, Old Brute's yelling now. Stop clicking! Alright, where were we? Missions and specials. That's the anniversary stuff, guys. So also the coin store. Very important, my friends. Very, very important PSA, at least in my opinion. When you scroll down to the bottom, you will notice down here in the bottom left that there is an improved compressor that you can get. My recommendation to you is to get that because this is only the second time, as far as I know, you can get it, and generally it is behind events, locked behind different events.
Is it a bond item?
No, dude, it's an improved. There's no other way to get this. It's very rare. No other way. There have been at least one other way, but I think this is the one you want. Now, this is new, the improved Final Drive, which they changed the name for some effing reason. I don't know why. Because it's an IRM. Also unobtainable, but I think the bounty or the improved compressor is well better than the improved IRM, even though they changed the name to improved Final Drive for some stupid reason.
Right, just give me that pathway again. So it goes.
So garage. Let's start from the beginning. Yeah. Bottom right to the anniversary thing.
Yeah.
Top right store where you have some coins sitting there.
Oh, got you. Yeah. And then if you scroll down.
Scroll to the bottom. All the way down to the bottom on the left. That improved compressor.
Okay.
That
compressor.
Save your coins, dudes. That is what you want. 100%. I forgot to pick my team. Where do you do that? Is that on the webpage, Obandu? Is that the only place you can do it?
Probably on the webpage, isn't it?
Oh, I forgot about
12.5% to engine power, giving top speed of a plus 6k.
Yeah, you want that. You want one of those. All right, so that's on the article then, huh? All right, let's go over there and show you guys what's going on with that. I forgot about the stupid team. Scroll.
Also, be careful where you mount it because it's going to cost you 200 bonds to dismount it.
Yeah. So choose your team. Scroll down to here. Choose a team. What team do I pick, Pilgrim? Do I want to be a Grey Knight that has a mouse on a boat?
I don't know.
What?
We have a look.
Why didn't they just name it Boat Mice?
I don't know.
Mouse boat. All right. I complain about everything, don't I? Prairie Predators. Or the Hopeful Prototypes. What does that what does that mean?
I couldn't pick out of the three. I'd be confused.
Oh! Good point. Grey Knights are damage missions. Prairie Predators are destroyed. Does this mean I've missed coins or something in the last 3 days? That's going to upset me greatly.
Oh, Dog said, look for the rewards you want.
Oh, here they are. They're all... No, I guess... Oh, okay, so I've been getting them, it looks like. I just haven't picked the team I want. I mean, I haven't been getting them, but I've been progressing. All right, what do I want?
Is this back in the anniversary mission thing, is it?
I can't even see that. Yeah, it's on the article.
Okay. Oh, on the webpage, yeah.
There's no difference. Is it just the... Oh, wait, these are different. No, these are different directives. I don't know. Which one's best? What are you guys doing? Keep scrolling down?
Keep scrolling down. Oak Dog says, keep scrolling down.
Oh, there's many more Grey Knights. Choose your discount.
Given the age of the average player of this game, probably a lot of Grey Knights, isn't there?
Should I? We are Grey Knights, aren't we?
Yeah.
And that's just the damage. You know why everyone's Grey Knights? Go ahead, chat. Tell me why everyone's a Grey Knight. I am, Goose. I'm always trying to understand it, even as I know I am never going to understand. It is a valid point. Sword and Keyboard, hello.
It's exactly.
Yeah, Bonzi. Yeah, I was hoping for a little more articulation of exactly why, but if you pick the damage one, it's gonna happen every game.
Yes.
You know, and I guess probably the experience one is an aggregate, so whatever experience you get is going to go into the pot. But you can have a high damage game and not great experience for a lot of different reasons. Damage is damage. Damage is damage is damage. So exactly. I love this, actually. This is such a great... There you go, Goose. This is such a great example of gamers. Fantastic example. So gamers looked at that and went, unless they're like me and they were just looking at the names and not paying attention. I got to tell you actually a story about that real quick. We'll get back to this in just a minute. Back to Baldur's Gate. There's a place where you go into a ruin of a village, and I talked about earlier. There's goblins all over, which I talked to. So I'm kind of wandering around just looking at stuff. I come up to a windmill, and there's a gnome tied to the windmill going around and around. And there's a bunch of goblins laughing because they've tied a gnome prisoner, and it's going around and around. He's screaming. He's like, It's got the Doppler effect going on.
Oh, got you. Okay,
yeah.
So you can hear it as it goes round, yeah.
So you walk up, right? And this is all in relation to gamers. Like me, anyway. You walk up, you talk to them. I actually managed to roll the dice, and I chase them away. They leave. I got intimidating because I'm a fighter. We'll talk about that later, too. So now I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, well, I need to try to get this guy down. You know, I didn't even have to have a fight. I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good about myself, man. I'm like, I talked the goblins out of this. There's no big battle. He's not going to get whacked by an arrow or shot by somebody in the crossfire. I'm like, this is good. So, yeah, these are spoilers. So I go around the back. I go in there into the control room, and then there's a basement. And I look in the basement, and I can't find... I'm like, how do you turn this stupid thing off? And then I have a spear out, and I'm trying to see if I can interact with the gears and jam the spear. And I'm like, that'd be cool, but you can't really do that. Then I'm trying to attack the gears, but you can't do that. And literally,
so
10 minutes later, the mouse randomly runs across a switch that's like 2 pixels big.
Right.
And it's a
it's
an on-off thing, I think. So I'm like, so I go, there it is. I don't bother reading. I don't do any other searching, and I click it.
Hang on. Before you go any further, you said to me you love this type of game because it's so detailed that you have to spend time to read everything and involve yourself in everything, and you're just willy-nilly clicking buttons.
I'm trying to explain to you why I know this so much more now.
Yeah,
all right? I click it, and it's actually the take the brake off switch. Right next to it is the turn the brake on, and the other one is so I click it, and then it goes to a cutscene, and I hear the windmill starts to spin up, And then the gnome,
You're making friends there, aren't you?
and then the gnome flies off, and he's like, ah!
And then all the gnomes want to kill you.
And I'm sat there, Pilgrim, because I'm trying to be. I have played so far this very nice person. I'm trying to help everybody. My name is Guido Bland. I'm the most common human fighter of all time. There's nothing special about me, other than the things that happen in the game, which you can't help. That's part of the game. A far, far away Obrute. I haven't found his body yet.
He's gone very small.
I actually don't know if he lands and you can find him. That's a great question. I did look around, but I'm not sure where he
He's
lands.
sitting there with broken arms and legs going, F you, Guido the Bland. F you.
Anyway, that long story is brought to you by the fact that over here, normally I would just go, whatever, click one.
Right.
But we have gamers involved, and they figure stuff out. And they go, damage missions are the easiest. Destroy, I can have a 7,000 damage or a 1,400 experienced game and maybe only get a kill or two.
Yeah. Yeah.
We already discussed missions, but damage is damage.
Yeah.
Right? I can have a 5,000.
You're going to do that every game, aren't you? You might not get a kill every game.
I can have a 5,000. Yeah, I can have a 3,000 damage game, which is probably going to cruise me along pretty well and not kill a damn thing.
Yeah. Not kill a thing. Yeah.
All right, so that's me. Damage missions. I am now a Grey Knight. Plus, we're Grey Knights anyway, aren't we?
We are. I've just clicked Grey Knights. I'm doing the Grey Knights, but because I'm grey and I'm somewhat of a knight of old. Pale Jedi and I met in the Running Man's chat the other day. He's a DayZ streamer.
Yeah?
And I was quite surprised to see him in there. But yeah, it was quite cool. So we are multi-gamers, aren't we?
Oh, Pale Jedi streams what now?
The Running Man, he streams, not Pale Jedi, but the Running Man, he streams DayZ.
Oh, okay.
And in his chat, Pale Jedi was... made a comment, and I thought, I know that name from somewhere. And I went, I know where he's from. So yeah, so that's quite cool. I like the fact that we're interacting with the community. It's good, isn't it?
All right, so once you do that, it looks like then these must be there they are, Grey Knights. So what it really is not coins, it's stuff.
Yeah.
Directives, some kits. Okay, cool. And it looks like that's awesome. They're not time gated, so you're not behind, my friends. Far anyway. You're not too far behind.
Well, Sword and Keyboard just asked, how do you get to that page on screen? That's on the website, isn't it? That page we were just looking at.
Yeah, Sword. So I'll bring it back up. We'll go to Chrome. Let's go back to the beginning page that you start with. So you're going to go there to the main page, my friend. Actually, if somebody wants to chuck a link to the page for them, that'll work too. But if you want to do it this way, it's right here. It's pinned. So it's the anniversary article. Scroll down, all the way down, till you get to choose your team. Then you have to click again.
Yeah, more clicks.
So many clicks. And then you come up to that page and you can choose your team. You can look at your reward chain. You can look at the missions. If you're curious how many people are in each team. Got it? Cool. Excellent.
Cool. And then Pale Jedi says he does stream. What? I didn't realise, Pale Jedi. I'll have to add you, sir.
And thanks for the follow, my friend. Much appreciated there. What else we got going on, man? Let's see. Well, we're in here. Summer at the Beach, Battle Pass. I don't think there's... the Bat Chat and the 110E4. See a lot of those, actually, right now. More Bat Chats than I would have thought. I mean, I know it's on track, but there's definitely a lot of Bat Chats running around.
Yeah.
I think that's it for missions and specials. Anniversary, did the Easter egg, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. We've been at an hour. We always take a 5-minute break halfway through, my friends, so we're going to go ahead and toddle off. I'm almost done with my coffee, so I need a new cup. Pilgrim needs to make some more tea, and we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Guido is his name, Tankin is his game. Guido, mysterious chap who spoke in a tongue with strange dialect. He offered his help to the mighty Guido to bring some laughter to his love of speedos, to the coffee talk they both play, to bring the message of winning ways to all and sundry and the masses. Yes, that's right, lads and lasses. The damage counts and flexing back will keep you on the right track. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. So in what, if you want to progress, then seek out Guido nonetheless. With his sidekick Pilgrim, he has a message that to win you must be aggressive. The position and place that you must seek for the winners only, not the weak. The guru speaks, so listen well. His voice rings out like the Liberty Bell to bring you all to Unicom land, or to die hard trying in the sand. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. To the swamplands came the mountain man to teach his wisdom and pay his due. A man with a name only known to a few. To his followers his words are true. Guido is the man, big and gruff. He used to fly jets, but now he does the tanking stuff. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. The mountains are home where he watches the moose and hunts.
All right, guys, we are back. We are back. Pick of the order for the Easter egg. Good. Did we ever... So, Clippy, are you telling me it hasn't changed from the very beginning? Because it's very possible that there was just bad info out there. But what I was reading, there's at least 2 different versions of it. I mean, I'm willing to believe it's been the same, but I've seen different numbers. So that's it. That's interesting. Good news is I got it sorted. All right, what else we got? We got subjects du jour. Well, GSOR 1010, we kind of launched off into that. I wanted to discuss that one out there. There's not really much else to beat that dead horse with, to be honest. Yeah? Okay. We'll leave it. Pilgrim is silent.
What? Sorry, what was that?
I lost my co-host. He wandered off.
I had that moment in time of dreaming of riding what's that big highway called? Route 66. Like that. Route 66. Route 66.
Oh, it's the same song, different, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Let's take a look here because there's some interesting stuff upcoming, some leaks and whatnot. The first one is, oh wow, they just updated their page. Let's check this out first because look at this thing. The Tiger Mouse 120T. It's an E100. It's a tiger. It's a mouse. It's a tiger mouse.
Something.
Well, it's got a historical reference. The project of a super heavy tank weighing 120 tons. Wow. Work on which was carried out in September to December. The designers plan to install a turret from the mouse and take the engine, cooling, etc. Other components from the 4502H was called the Tiger Mouse. The project was curtailed but later revived as part of the work on the E100. Okay, so kind of an early idea, prototype-ish kind of thing for the E100. There you go.
Well, if that's coming, yeah, all right, fair enough. I mean, we don't know if these things are coming, do we?
Well, it's a Tier 9 premium, so I bet it is. Bye, Tor, how are you?
Where are we looking? Let's change this up again. Where are we looking for Christmas? Are we looking at something like a Tier 9 premium?
There's no boxes for Christmas. We already discussed that.
There's no boxes.
No, that's been canceled.
Oh dear. Well, maybe there's maybe they're gonna modify the game like they have with other games, and you can have a naked tank to change.
You are an absolute genius. Tank junk.
There you go. So yeah, I think that's the way forward.
Strip it down and modify the engine and the chassis. Bigger engine, smaller engine, longer engine, shorter engine, fatter engine.
Yeah, with hair.
A hairy engine.
Heavy engine.
All right, PG-13, my friend. Let's move on from that. PG-13.
Let's move on.
That was kind of a funny joke to me, but maybe not to everyone. LTS 85. What on earth? What is this? A Tier 8 light tank premium. Well, we got all kinds of new... Oh, it's another one of these little flat pancake Russian tanks.
What, yeah, what...
Looks like a Tier 8 LTG kind of idea.
Okay.
No, it's Rusky. Mid-60s, firepower and armor of the PT-76, the only amphibious tank in service, was no longer enough. So they needed a floating tank with more powerful weapons. 85 and 100 millimeter. All right, well, there you go. So we got another premium. Man, whatever you do, Wargaming, don't make more tech tree lines. Just keep on pumping out the premiums.
Well, they're sort of running out of nations now, aren't they? They're actually nations that make tanks.
The Japanese. I am hanging my hat on the Christmas tank being this fella. And I don't know, maybe
Really?
this. Maybe this is the secondary one.
What makes you say that?
Because they have the Japanese line coming.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And so the British wheel tank is the next one in line. That's my understanding. And I think in the next patch, which they have the super test, some of the super test stuff going for. And this, I think this is the next line. And my guess is Christmas is this thing with the release either coincidentally or afterwards in the new year for the Japanese heavy line. That's my guess. Right? Oh yeah, bobsled tank, not a bad idea.
Well, you've had everything else. You've had a surfboard. You've had a rubber boat. You've had anti-aircraft weapons. You've had, which is okay. You can sort of forgive that because it's still military and armament. But you've had all sorts. Scuba diving tanks. You've had just stupid things on tanks. That's all. Why not have a bobsled?
Jamaican tank should be a light tank sitting in a bush with a little puff of smoke coming up every once in a while.
And it's slightly out of focus.
Yeah, and it's always passive.
Yeah, it's always cool, man.
That's terrible. All right. Battle Pass, friends, Battle Pass. Here's the first data I've seen anyway on Season 12, which I believe will start at the beginning of September, based on timing and what we're hearing. And I think it actually says it in this article. This is I don't know if this is a leak, a semi-official leak, an official semi-leak, a semi-official leak, a leaky leak, a sideways leak.
Any one of them.
I have no idea. So I would try to stay in NDA in this, but I don't understand it, and nobody's told me anything, so it's pretty easy. But there you go. This is apparently Myrni 13 related, is what it's saying. So the battle pass itself, JPZ. Is that the 55? What is that? I don't know what tank that is. And the M5Y. I'm not sure what that one is. What is it?
Oh, just got drops, thank you.
You tank ID guys, tell me, what is that thing?
Just trying to get the picture bigger so I can see.
It's a medium, actually, I think. Is that one of the...
No, it looks.
Is it the 121 or is it a 430?
Looks. Yeah, it looks vaguely Chinese.
Skunk. Oh, everyone's saying 140. All right, so it's a 140. Got it. Cool.
Okay.
L140. Oh, where'd it go? I've lost it. Oh, I clicked out of it. You know what, Pilgrim?
What? We're having a bad day today.
No, life's hard, but it's harder when you're stupid.
And you do stupid so well.
I
sir.
do. I overperform. My stupid tank curve is well above average.
I think yes. I mean, I'm stratospheric, me. So you're catching up to me now, aren't you?
That's been my goal, actually. That's been my goal. Try to reach.
Never mind your 100 battle challenge. Catch Pilgrim for stupidity. That's something.
All right, we got some great translation action here. This is a Wotan Voigt crew member who looks vaguely like a skeleton or an undead of some kind. German tanker, equally well copes with the role of commander of a combat vehicle and an inquisitive scientist. That's good because it's Mirny 13. Since high school, he has been gravitating towards the natural sciences and is well versed in chemistry, biology, and physics. He constantly keeps a diary in which he records what is happening with the help of illegible notes and quite visual illustrations. All right, so that's Wotan.
It's a V, isn't it? I do believe.
I think it is. If it's,
That's how it.
but don't the Germans pronounce the V's with a W?
Well, they don't say Volks.
Or is it-
Do they? They say an F. So it's Volkswagen. Isn't it? Volkswagen.
I think it's. I don't know.
I don't know.
The deceptive
You care?
appearance of. I do a little bit. I do.
You
a little
do
bit.
really, don't
Yeah.
you? You do care.
The
I can see
deceptive.
that.
It's a little bit. The deceptive appearance of this young scout killed many.
Yeah.
See? Obrute says W is V, 100%.
There you are.
So, so
V
Wotan,
is F. V is F.
Wotan fought? Wotan fought? Wotan fought?
V is F. Yeah, Vogue.
I don't understand why her deceptive appearance has killed many.
Oh, you see, it's like Medusa. She has snakes for hair.
Is she the Black Widow? She seems that seems
Yes.
that
I
seems
think the
dangerous.
snakes for hair kills people.
Perfectly
One
owns the skills of collecting data about the enemy. Specialization, radar intelligence, in which the girl uses a systematic. The girl
The girl. Yeah.
uses a systematic approach and analytical thinking to the maximum to make decisions. All right. Able
Do
to
you know
take.
what they're doing? You know what they're doing? They're
What are they
taking the RPG game.
It is Black
and
Dahlia.
trying to put it. Yeah, they're having characters that have special skills, just like an RPG game, or a D&D, or something like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've been doing that for a long time. They want to have like a story and stuff. I get that. The people like that, and that's interesting. I just like the translations because they're always funny.
Do you see what Gator put? That's so funny.
Yeah, but
Thirteen.
you have to click the close or no close option though.
You got Moon and on the tank.
Oh, you know what else? Just to go off on another tangent, you know what else I just learned that is in Baldur's Gate? They have a thing called karmic dice, and it's basically where if you get a string of bad luck, it'll start pushing stuff in your direction
Really?
on rolls. Yeah, and I think
Oh,
it goes
on
the other way.
Dice roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
on the dice roll.
And it might go the other way. I need to look into it more. I just read a brief thing.
I guess the coding for that is you have a string of like
Sure. Yeah.
bad dice roll, and then you get. That's to keep you playing.
And it's
to stop your rage.
My understand is it's default on.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you don't want that, but if you don't use it, then you can easily get a streak of real bad luck. The other thing people do, you save right before you do it.
Oh, okay. You can auto save.
you save it, then you
Yeah.
there's you can do it that way. I have minimized the amount of that. I will on occasion save right before a big fight that I know I'm going to start myself, just so
Right.
if it goes completely pear shaped.
You really should have thought about that when you clicked that button and made that poor dwarf disappear into the nether regions. You really should have.
I should have, and that's where I started
Yeah.
thinking about it. Because up till then,
Yeah.
it'd been kind of smooth sailing, other than getting blown up by the fireballs. And I just went to a fairly
Or stepping
recent.
on acid.
It does auto saves too along the way, so I went to a recent save and survived all that. But so Clippy says it's 3, and then it adds 1, so that's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's a little bonus, but all right. Larry Stone is the American. It's a very, very American name. Behind the formidable appearance of this American lies a sharp mind and subtle sense of humor. It's kind of like me,
See that.
just like me. He is not afraid.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not afraid.
Formidable appearance of this American lies a sharp mind. Is that meaning because he's a meathead, it's unusual that he's got a sharp mind? Is that what they're trying to say here?
That is why people are constantly surprised by your mind, Pilgrim.
I have the wisdom of Gandalf and the face of a hobbit.
Hey, you know what? There's worse things to be, my friend.
Oh yeah.
Just around midnight, since we're just wandering through games anyway. Yes, I did not mention it's not the pathfinding and the clicking to move is a little bit annoying because I think Midnight will back me up. How many times have you misclicked on your own guy and started a daggum conversation with him? Yeah, because you got 4 people, Pilgrim.
Yeah.
They got a party.
Yeah.
And as you're clicking around,
Yeah.
and the other thing is, there you can hit Alt to kind of highlight stuff you can interact with, but it doesn't show you everything. So there's a lot of little doodads, and especially if it's a secret thing or a switch, you really got to spend a lot of time kind of looking around. But invariably, while you're either trying to move or click on something, you click on one of your own people, and then boom, you're having a chat with them. You're like, ah!
You don't want the conversation that you've just had.
You're like, ah!
I haven't shaved my feet, Bytor, so you can't see them yet.
Yeah. He's a what is it? Hairy elbow?
Yes, I'm a gnarly elbow.
Gnarly elbow.
Yes, you don't see them either.
Back to Larry. He's not afraid
Back
of
to Larry.
anything or anyone. At least he thinks so.
Ah, dear.
But yeah,
This
that's.
is so typecasted, isn't it? This is.
I'm
so
trying to think of what that was trying to say. He's not afraid of anything or anything, anyone or anything or anyone. I think they're trying to say something like he acts like he's not afraid of anything, but that's more like bravado. I think that was the general idea of what they're trying to say.
Do you think they're trying to make him into Jack Reacher? Is this what they're trying to do?
Yeah, his call sign is Reacher. For a long time, he fought under the command of D. Macrid. Now, this I don't understand because I don't know who that is. Was that somebody? Was that somebody in a former Mirny 13? Is it Dr. Macrid? Is that with whom
Is
he?
it Doctor or is it just D?
I know, right? Could be Dave.
Yeah. Could be, yeah. Could be just
Could be
Dave.
Derek. Could be Dimian. DeAndre.
Yeah. Could be Diablo.
Yeah. Dan.
Yeah.
Could be Diablo.
Yeah. Could be Dangit.
Could be DH. Maybe it's DH Macrid. Could be.
Could be.
Okay. With whom
Could be.
at first he could not find common language because of his own sharp jokes. So they didn't get along because he was a bit of a smart arse,
Yeah.
right?
He didn't use irony. He just used smart jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you, some kind of smart lad? What's going on?
Yeah.
During his career, he successfully completed dozens of combat missions, accustomed himself to discipline, and subsequently became a competent commander. Now, if he's a smart arse, I don't think he ever really did that.
No.
No. However, he did stop releasing witticisms about and without. His witticisms.
Stopped them.
He just
Stopped
stopped because that's because
Yeah,
he
when
got
became
disciplined.
commander, his whole character changed.
And doesn't
That
that
happens, doesn't
always
it?
happen, Pilgrim?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I
That-
can think of many a colonel.
Oh, that great
whose
guy.
character changed when he was a lieutenant.
When he was a lieutenant or a captain or even
Yeah.
a major, and then all of a sudden he's a
Yeah.
commander, and you're like, "Who's this guy?
Who's
Who's this?
this guy? Who?
Who's this guy bucking for his next command and his next
Yeah.
promotion?"
Yeah. Exactly. Who's after his brigadier or his first one-star
Yeah.
general? Yeah. Maybe not.
I saw you throw up all over the pub last
Yeah,
year, and all of a
exactly.
sudden you can't have a drink. Okay.
We had a major in my formation regiment, the First Battalion, the 22nd Foot, the Cheshire Regiment. We had a major. Yes, I guess that. We had a major. What was his name? Hall, Major Hall, who would do. I genuinely, this gobsmacked me, right? Who would do absolutely crazy things on officers' mess functions. He would do things like ride his motorbike up the staircase of the officers' mess, or gallop a horse through the dining room, or just absolutely crazy mental stuff. You know what British officers are like?
Oh, yeah.
These like silly things, right? And everybody would say in the regiment, he's going nowhere. That geezer, I tell you, he might be a major. But he's going absolutely nowhere because he completely screw loose. You know what I mean? He would do stupid, crazy stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I left the regiment and went on to do other things. And I only now, since I've been retired, I've got in touch with the association. I'm doing stuff on the veterans side for the battalion and other things. And I found out the other day that he actually made full colonel. So he not only got a lieutenant colonel, command of the battalion, but he then got subsequently promoted to a staff rank and actually did stuff in brigade headquarters. And I was like, no wonder we never win anything. We've got crazy dudes riding horses over things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I know exactly.
Sorry.
I got a million stories of guys like that somehow ended up in command. And you're like, I don't even know what's happening here.
How does that happen? Mavericks.
Yeah. All right, so then we got Nadiza, another crew member. So it looks like you're going to be able to buy that extra package where you get battle pass, extra missions to advance your battle pass, and you get a crew member with it. So that's this person. But leading researcher of the Research Institute crossed out, which I believe means I don't know, Research Institute that's been.
What does that mean?
I think it means the Research Institute's defunct or something like that. I don't know, or
Okay,
maybe
right.
she was fired. She got fired, or she's a former.
Got name crossed out.
I think maybe former. That probably is probably a translation of former or something like that. Like she's not doing that anymore. Curator of
Do
the
you think
first.
she might have been working in the Wuhan lab?
Well, I think she got crossed out. They're like gone. They put an X on
Gone.
her name, and then they drummed her out of the regiment. They all lined up and they turned their back and they sent her down the middle of that and sent her outside of the fort and said, "Keep walking."
I think that's probably what happened. Do you, as an instructor, have that on your? Do you have on your instructor's restroom a wall with a picture of each of your students, and as they failed, you red cross them? Because we used to. Big red cross. You're gone, sunshine.
No, our equivalent of that is when somebody washed out of the B course is all of the extra hours that just became available for our CT flying.
Cool.
For
Yeah.
instructors called continuation training. So all of a sudden we have because you got to fly the hours whether that guy's there or not, and then we're like, all right,
Yeah.
good news.
Well,
Bad news is we lost.
another 8 hours.
Bad news is we lost Lieutenant Smith. Good news is we have some extra hours for ourselves.
Brilliant.
Didn't happen very often actually. It was
No.
fairly uncommon by the
The
time.
idea is to coach them through, isn't it? Not
Well, and their name puck
Shit.
on the scheduling board would disappear.
Yeah.
Although that's all
See,
electronic now.
the thing is with pilot training, you're not going to just have a small, for want of a better word, mistake, are you? If you're in I used to instruct nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare, and the worst that would happen is that somebody wouldn't get through the tear gas stage. You know what I mean? It would just be a little bit eyes crying and all the rest of it, and they wouldn't be able to cope with it.
Yeah.
But if you're a pilot and you fail on like a $500 million jet. It's not a good thing to do.
Well, that's what I was saying. By the time they got to the B course, because they've done basic pilot training, they've got their wings, so they've done primary training.
So they were flying.
And then they did IFF, which is called Introduction to Fighter Fundamentals, where they did some more tactical-ish stuff in the teeth. By the time they got to us, they were probably good. Now that doesn't mean they didn't wash out. They do on occasion wash out, but it's a fairly low rate. Because they've gone through a lot of hoops. Yeah, they've gone through a lot of hoops to get to us, and we get the best. We get the best in the class.
Brute said you had single gender restrooms, so there was no pictures of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I got in,
Sorry.
when I got in terms of pictures and doofer books and stuff, it was the Wild West. But they've locked down a bunch of that stuff.
You'll have pictures of aircraft, aren't you? Things.
Yeah, there's just airplanes and stuff with,
Not people.
the airplanes were often decorated in certain ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Enola Gay. Enola Gay had a decoration, didn't it?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they were live decorations and stuff. So
Oh, were they? Okay. Let's leave it there. What are we talking about?
shenanigans on a Friday evening or some such. All right, leading research, curator of the first and subsequent groups that went to Marigny 13. That's just a typo.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you never know.
Maybe.
Let's not go there. My pronouns are Hobbit.
They approach work very scrupulously, sometimes reaching fanaticism. They do not compromise, and if they set a goal, they will stop at nothing to achieve it. This person apparently also drives a tank, I guess. I don't know.
Possibly. Or a crew member. Could be a gunner.
Could be a driver.
Could be a
Well,
driver.
she's a scientist. Maybe she's the radio operator.
Yes, because that's the sort of level of intelligence you need to operate a radio, isn't it?
You would think, based on the way some people use a radio.
Yeah.
All right.
Fall for a copy.
Copy.
Oh, hey, I tell you what. Here's another thought that just comes.
Oh, Lord.
This is happening a lot these days. I think
Okay.
it's my age. But I used to do ham radio years and years ago when I was a child. And I used to have a dipole set up and everything else. And I used to have a little ham mill. And I used to do the old 1/4 for a copy. And for some reason, I had all the lights on the radio, the ham radio and everything else. And for some reason, I never ever got to talk to anybody. So I never ever got to talk to them. Nobody would talk to me. I go 1/4 for a copy, and hopefully, CB radio, right? Wasn't that I remember it was CB. Radio.
Oh, it's CB. Okay, I was going to say you'd
Yeah.
have been going CQ.
Yeah, CQ,
Yeah.
CQDX, and all
Yeah,
that sort of
yeah.
stuff. But no, it was a 1/4 for a copy. Thinking I get a rubber duck convoy or something, you know?
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah.
I didn't get anybody.
The bandit didn't
When
even answer?
Nobody.
That
nothing.
son of a gun.
Yeah, no, nothing. Nobody wanted to speak to me when I was on CB radio. So when I joined the
When
army,
was
I did
that?
a little
What-
signal-
like
I did
what-
a signals call.
What year was that?
Sorry?
What year was that?
1977.
Dude, I was doing CB
crikey.
radio. My dad did CB radios. We talked to everybody.
I think I probably didn't have it dialed in anywhere. Probably not connected to the aerial. I don't know.
You had to be on
The aerial,
channel. Is it channel 19, guys? I think channel
Is it the
19.
emergency channel?
No,
Well-
I don't remember what emergency was. 7,
Not-
something like that. 19
Oh,
is
yeah.
the broadcast, is the main channel.
19 is the
Yeah,
broadcast
that's
channel, yeah.
channel 9's emergency. Thank you, Cliffy. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So when I joined the military, they give me a radio to play with. So I went, yeah, I know all about it.
Oh yeah.
Corporal, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm good with it. Give me a go. So I'm on the net. We go 1/4 for a copy. 1/4 for a copy. My instructor punched me in the head. He was like, get off.
He's like, "What? You're trying to take the Mickey out of me? Get out of here, you little punk!"
Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was all the same.
And somebody actually answered at that time, probably.
Yeah, they did. They said, get off the net, you. Get off the CO's net. Oh, dear. Come on.
Oh, dude. So, yeah, it's funny because we do. The controllers we're training are new lieutenants, and they may or may not have a lot of experience with radios and stuff. By the time they get to us, they've done a bit with the squadron on other stuff. But it's pretty funny when they get to us, because we have what's called 3-1 comm, which is certain words you use for certain situations and common words and all that stuff. So it's kind of a language unto its own, which they're unfamiliar with. So they're always kind of goofing it up or making different words for it, which is always a laugh. But the best one that happens quite often is when you get on there, you're like doghouse console radio check. And what they're supposed to do is if they hear, they say loud and clear, how me. That's the whole process, right?
Got you.
Well, sometimes they don't really understand that. So you go doghouse console radio check, and they'll say console doghouse radio check. And you're like, I radio checked you! That's not how this works!
It's worse. Nothing worse.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Anywho, where were we? Oh, yeah, Mirny 13. We're done with that. So there's also this little tier 5. This is probably a gift kind of guy right here. BT42. Is this a derp or some such? Let's see. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, it can be reached. Never mind. What do we got? We have a... Yes, it's a derp. We have a tier 5 with a 370 alpha. Probably a heat round or an HE round. 105, 125. That's actually pretty high for a tier 5. Wow. And its reload is almost 9 seconds. I'm assuming its dispersion is horrible. It is 0.55. Yikes. 2490 DPM though for a tier 5. That's pretty funny. So a little derp. You can see it's got a great big old cannon on it. So. Oh, that's a captured Russian BT. That's what that is. Right? Or you're muted. You're muted.
Sorry. Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Captured Russian.
Yep.
Sorry.
All right. Let's see what else we got. We've got... I think that was it, pretty much. There's another tank in there I wanted to look at. There's a new... There it is. So the Object 452, my friends, this is a promotional, so reward tank, tier 10. I'm assuming
Right.
Clan Wars is my guess
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah.
560 alpha.
Another Russian medium, though, isn't it?
No, it's a heavy, I believe.
Is it heavy, is it?
Yeah, heavy tank.
Oh, my
Yep.
apologies, yeah.
Yep. 260 pen, 320 with whatever it is. What's it look like? It looks like, it's hard to see. Heat. So it's got a heat round at 320. It's got a 14.5 second reload. DPM's at 2336, 2300 hit points. Its accuracy 0.38. It does 35 kilometers an hour and 15 backwards. And there you go. This is interesting because these are not large numbers. The hull is showing 120 with pretty good angling from what I can tell when you look at it.
Yeah.
But the turret itself is also just 120.
Really?
Yeah. But
And that's in super test now.
But look at it. It's kind of a pancake turret, and who knows what this
Yeah.
mantlet thickness is, so it's hard to tell.
Probably a lot of ricocheting coming off those
Yeah.
slopes.
Yep, so it's got the kind of the rounded-ish Russian turret there, so could be a decent turret as well. So that's out there, and I won't say in the wild because it's super test stuff. Remember, that's all super test, so don't take that all with a grain of salt. I think that's it.
I mean, to be honest, they've got an awful lot of tanks in super test that we may or may not get to see in the near future, anyway. So,
Well, there's tons that are
Yeah.
still in the files that they don't use. So every time I say, well, I think that's a whatever tank, who knows? I mean, they could drag something else in there, but that's all from data mining or super test sort of leaks or official, unofficial, official leaks. I don't know how they do it. It's hard to keep track of it all. Some of it's data mining and files. Some of it's actual people giving up stuff they're not supposed to give up.
Yeah.
Some of it is they do have a channel for official leaks that they'll push through. A lot of the stuff from that site comes from Watt Express, which is the ones that actually have the agreement with Wargaming for the official leaks.
yeah.
And I barely know anything about it, so
Yeah.
those are all.
But there's always going to be that sort of avenue because that sort of tease, isn't it? It's a taster. People see it and go, oh, look at this, look at this.
Yeah, they want to be able to dribble it out and keep that kind of hype thing going on and pretend that it's this special information and it
Yeah.
whatever.
The gift tank out dog.
I did not. So I do have that. I didn't talk about that actually specifically. If you do, and here it is at the bottom here, if you do 8 of these missions, then you will get this tank automatically, the AMX-13 FL-10. Can somebody confirm to me whether you can do day 1 missions today, or do they lock if you don't do them? Does anyone know? Chuck it in chat. I didn't want to take a chance and wait a day and not get it. But I'm hoping you can do them all, even though you've missed them. But I wouldn't be surprised if you can't.
Well, you haven't missed any yet, have you?
So Fast Red Horse says yes, you can still do them. All right, that's great. Which means if you haven't done any of them, guys, it's easy to do 8 and get this tank. Missions don't lock. Good,
Right.
good to know. So if you miss a day, you're not hurt. That's
We've got until the end of August, is it?
21 August, 21.
21st August. Right.
Although I don't know how long the store stays open. Does it say in here? Might say.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
It could be in the article. I don't see it here. If somebody knows, chuck it down there. Usually the store's open a little while longer after the event. But the tank itself, I have not played. It's a tier 5 light tank, so let's check this out. There it is. Actually, let's do this. Let's clear this. Add to comparison. We'll compare it to the BIS. Do a comparison.
Yeah,
check
I
this thing
think.
out.
Yeah, I was just going to say. Yeah, it's. I was disappointed with what they did to the BIS. So if it comes up trumps against the BIS, it'll be quite nice.
Okay. Well, this thing only does 110. The BIS does 240, so very different gun. The BIS has got that kind of big cannon, although the penetration's not too far off.
Well, if you take the big gun off the BIS, which you can do, can't you? You can put the smaller gun on it.
Yeah, should we do that?
Yeah, because then you get turret traverses and everything else, because it doesn't
Yeah.
do turret traverses.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah.
So then we've got basically the same gun, it looks like. Similar anyway. 110 damage, pens a little less with the premium. A little less rate of fire. The DPM, where is it? Is a little less with the premium. Dispersion's better, so it's more accurate. Reload's a little faster. The rest of these are fairly similar. So kind of similar. It's just the BIS has more DPM and better pen, is that right? Yes. No. Slightly less pen. Then we've got whole armor. The armor is better on the FL10. Or FL11, sorry.
Well, that's unusual, because I
Yeah.
thought it'd be a bit worse.
Hit points are 10 less on the tech tree one. What's the speed doing? We've got much more engine power on this one. This thing does 65. It's faster than the BIS by 5. And camo. What do we got going on camo-wise? We've got a little less than the BIS.
Now, that's odd, isn't it? That is odd.
Yeah.
3-man crew, says O-Dog. Is it a 3-man crew?
And then the view range is the same at 360. The FL13 is a 3-man crew, which I think the BIS is as well, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say.
No, BIS is 2. Nope, it's 2.
2-man crew.
Yeah,
Right,
check that out. And that's a 3-man crew. Okay. So what are you getting out of this? You're adding a driver. The BIS, the commander is everything, and the driver's the driver.
Yeah. Yeah,
This is a bit bigger too, so it's a bit easier to hit in terms of just aiming at it.
Yeah.
That's why it loses out on camo. It's taller and just bigger overall. It's the same crew as the 1375. There you go. You got a 1375 trainer. Let's
I
check
was
this
just going
out.
to say that. Yeah, you've got a trainer on the go there, haven't you? Yeah. So, I mean, overall, I know it's only tier 5, but overall, it's a fairly, if not balanced, it's a fairly, middle of the road tank, isn't it?
Is it the same as the 1390? It must be, right?
It's got to be on it.
Driver, loader. Oh, gunner, loader, driver. Gunner, loader. Yeah, so it's the same as all the other 13 series stuff. All the way up. Thanks, Al Einstein. Good to know. Good to know. So there's a trainer. Do they have another one like that? I think this guy does the same thing.
I haven't seen. There is
Yeah,
a premium.
the 1357
yeah,
does. Yeah, it does the same thing.
1357.
Yep. But if you don't have one of those, you just got a free trainer for your 13
Yeah.
series 13 series Franche light tanks. So there you go. I'll try it out at some point. Here's the bummer with this thing, dude. It doesn't do battle pass points.
No, because it's tier 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which
I
is
kind of wish they would
so
add.
weird, isn't it?
I kind of wish they would add tier 5 to battle pass. Honestly.
I think they should. I think tier 5 is. I think tier 6 is just one step up that it needs to be tier 5 onwards.
Because there's still tier 5s I kind of like to play. I really don't enjoy
Yeah.
tier 4 or below. I mean, I'll do it every blue moon. But there are tier 5s I'd love to play in Battle Pass that I think are
Yeah.
fun tanks. And I enjoy that. But I feel like but we're never happy though, right?
No,
You
we always want
you always want
something.
something more, yeah. So
There is stuff on the UI that we could also talk about, because things like, I think it's crew training is discounted, or
oh, good point.
perks.
Let me go back to the article. It's on the article there. So it's split in two, actually, the bonuses. So it is, here, we'll bring this up. Just for everyone's essay, right now we've got credit discounts on collectible vehicles, which I think is that special class that you got to go into the store to get to.
Yeah.
Gold discounts on vehicle customization, free XP, improved free XP to crew XP conversion, and discounts on training, retraining, and changes. That actually reminds me, there is something else in there. It's in the store, I believe. If you go to the store, and here it is. So there's this best offers, which is where you can buy the G-SOAR and some other stuff, these 3 anniversary vehicles, but also items for gold. I think there's actually a tank in there that's for gold. It's not showing for me because I've got it, but you can actually buy a few things in here for gold. Here's some of the tanks right here you can buy actually. Actually, this is where it is. Never mind. I do see it. It's right here in front of me. Because I think Zemke actually picked up the you can't see it behind Pilgrim, but this is the 703 122. So a 15% discount on the 703 version 2. And then a 25% off the EVA 90. Both of those are great tanks.
Yeah.
Caliban, whatever. It's funny at times. And then the Sturv. So pretty decent discounts on some really good tier 8 premiums.
Yeah.
So something to think about.
Which is, you know what? When I first saw the anniversary stuff come out, and I had a look at it the other day, I did sort of feel that it was sort of, well, maybe expectations exceeded the reality, but I did feel it was a little bit mediocre. But then
For which
when you
one?
dig into it,
Which tank?
all of the anniversary, this 13th birthday thing,
Oh.
I just felt a little bit, I don't know what it was. Was it because we didn't get anything nice? I don't know. Anyway, but once you start to dig into it like this, you start to see that they've added little things in there like that. You can get, discount on your gold. You can get discount. Sorry, not on your gold, on purchasing items and so on and so on and so on.
Yeah, you do have to kind
It's
of
gonna
dig
grow.
around. You do have to
Yeah,
kind
you
of
got
dig
to dig
around.
around, don't you?
That being said, fellas, the last thing from the 10th to the 16th is just a ×2 for your second win, which is fine if you're grinding. But from the 16th to the 21st, ×5, discounts on equipment and consumables. That's the one everybody's looking for.
Yeah. Start buying your consumables
Right.
now.
So on the
What
6th,
was it 50%?
yeah.
Yeah.
So on the 16th, we'll have another consumable sale, which is just in time for me because I'm about to run out of kits or something like that.
Right. Is the discount on gold? I can't read it on the screen. Somewhere is the purchase
No,
gold
I don't.
discount?
I don't
No?
see anything for
Because
discount.
that would be a cool stack up. You get discounted gold and then use the discounted gold to buy a load of consumables.
Well, you don't.
No, no, it's
you
not
don't buy
gold. Sorry,
consum-
it's credits. It's credits. Oh, shut up. Pilgrim on. Buy a load of gold.
To be fair-
convert it to silver, then get your consumables.
That is the most efficient way to do it, right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm going to do that. On the
$1,000 in gold and convert it all to silver and buy enough consumables to last to 2059.
There you go.
Done.
You heard it first here.
That is the plan. To be fair, they did have a gold discount last week. Remember that?
Did they?
Yeah, it was attached to whatever it was. How quickly we forget.
Oh.
I think that's everything I got, Pilgrim. You guys got
Yes,
any
yeah.
questions or subjects you need lied about or things made up?
Yeah.
Oh,
Thoughts on Overwhelming Fire?
Onslaught's supposed to be back. I have not played Overwhelming Fire, Obandu. I forgot it was even there.
Yeah,
I saw
What's going on? Yeah.
I saw a screenshot where everyone in queue was playing the Artie, the Rocket Artie.
Yeah.
I do have one thought on Overwhelming Fire. I hope they're not planning on putting a rocket arty in the game. And I realize this is just a fun mode, and they do mention, hey, we're not doing this because we're thinking about putting stuff in, but you know how it goes. They see the popularity of something, and next thing we've got some kind of crazy rocket arty. And people have asked for that because they've got the Germans and everybody actually had some early rocket artillery in World War II. So
yeah, well, that was like, I mean, the Russians had Stalin's organ, they called it, wasn't it? It was
yeah.
one of the drain pipes on the back of a truck.
And the Nebelwerfer, and then there was a Sherman variant that had rockets on top of it.
Yeah, but we don't need it in this game. Wargaming, listen, we do not need it in this game. I do not need to be stuck on Himmelsdorf getting artied by rockets every 30 seconds. No.
Now, I did say it might be funny for whole teams to be full of these. I might try it later today and just see if it, no kidding, is just this rocket fest. That would actually be kind of comical. Yeah, that would be
comical. I mean, this is it. It's funny once. Isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know, Gator. That one, I don't know why they spend so much time on it. I mean, whether they're looking at stuff or whatever. Tier 11 and 12 will have rocket already. Yep. All right, my friends. Well, I very much appreciate everybody coming by. Let's see if we got someone to go raid. You guys have a good rest of your Sunday for sure. I think I'm going to be lazy again today.
So, just to remind everybody, we're not here next Sunday.
Hey, let's go. We're going to go raid Stewie JP. He's a Down Under streamer, so he's
cool.
down there in the on the Asia side, man. Good dude. Let's go raid him. I appreciate everybody coming by. What did we do here? We got... and I missed. Borchi, thank you for the follow. Sorry I didn't shout that out. Sword and Key earlier. Arch Carrier, missed you as well. Tagora 123, thank you. And thanks for the resubs with Bonzi and Wayne. And I think Cliffy, that was last week. But anyway, thanks Cliffy anyway. Let's go raid Stewie JP. Boom. Start raid. Excellent. And that is all I have from the left side of the Atlantic.
And it's Pilgrim signing off from the correct side of the Atlantic.
Y'all have a good one. One and raid. Sit.